So I would be supplementing with, in one of those colder climates, with 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3. It's called cholecalciferol, vitamin D3, and make sure that it contains something called K2, because vitamin D3 is such a magic nutrient in the human body. It acts like a hormone sometimes. It acts like a vitamin sometimes. It's a calcium transport molecule. And if you want the calcium to deposit into the bone and not into the arterial wall, you add vitamin K2. So most good manufacturers, you can tell a really good vitamin D3 by the fact that it is compounded with something called K2. That is a really good manufacturer. You want to take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3 daily, very safe, to raise your vitamin D3 level. There is correlated risks, even causal risks, between low vitamin D3 and increased incidence of breast cancer in women. There are plenty of clinical trials on this. So it's one of the easiest things to supplement with, and it's one of the most game-changing nutrients you can put in the human body. You know, I got asked on a podcast the other day, what is the single most important nutrient in the human body? And it's really hard to pinpoint one. But if you think about the fact that vitamin D3 is the only nutrient that human beings make on our own. It's the only vitamin we make on our own. So if I was to test your blood right now, or the blood of any of your listeners, there'd be hundreds of vitamins in their bloodstream. You're only capable of making one. So when God made us, he made us with the ability to make a single vitamin. So how important do you think that is to human function? So we make it from sunlight and cholesterol. You don't need to eat, you don't need to drink, you don't need to supplement. If you expose your skin to sunlight and have cholesterol in your bloodstream, your body will make vitamin D3. What's really fascinating about it is about 85% of the world is clinically deficient in vitamin D3, and it's very easy to supplement with.
Wow. I'm thinking about my friends in Scandinavia who right this time of year have like 3 hours of sunlight and are desperately in need of this. And I think if memory serves, they told me when I was over there, the government will provide that vitamin for you free of charge.
There's an indication of how important it is, right? Because they know that's going to keep people out of the healthcare system. We've developed all kinds of fallacies around this. Have you ever heard of going out and catching a cold in the winter? Okay, well, that's a complete fallacy. My mom used to say it to me all the time. Don't go outside without a jacket. You'll catch a cold. There's no such thing as catching a cold. The reason why people get sick more often in cold weather is because when it's cold, we layer up. And when we layer up, we get less sun. When we get less sun, our vitamin D3 drops. And when our vitamin D3 drops, our immune system is compromised. So our immune system is compromised by the cold weather. It is actually less risky to go outside during cold weather than it is to go outside in Miami, because there's a lot more pathogens at 85 degrees than there are at 15 degrees. You know, there's not a lot of bacteria lying around on your frozen car window, but there's a lot of bacteria lying on handrails.
Well, can you do, like, if you live in a cold environment, like let's say you go skiing, you know, these days you're covered head to toe while you ski. There's not a single inch of skin that shows. But then let's say you sit outside for lunch because it's warm enough that you can do that. Can you sit there in the sun for half an hour, just your face showing, and get the vitamin D you need?
Yeah, your face and your hands, sometimes your arms. I mean, you know, some of these ski resorts, if there's not a lot of wind blowing and you're at high altitude, the UV index is high, you can actually just take your jacket off and expose your arms and your skin to sunlight for a few minutes, maybe 15, 18 minutes. That's enough to start generating some vitamin D3. But in those cases, just supplement with vitamin D3. Supplement with cholecalciferol.
Okay, there's no downside.
Yeah, there's no downside.